Good morning from Australia. Hello, Zazie.
Oh, hi. How are you? I'm good.
Look, I think you're established, you're accomplished in such a small amount of time. I really adore the career choices you've made. You've made some great
Thank
movies.
you.
So it's a pleasure to be talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Seberg, especially. Great in Seberg.
Oh,
Good film.
thank you. Thank you. Oh, not too many people bring that one up. Yeah, that was a fun one. Kristen's lovely.
Now, with the bad guys, obviously, it's a voice acting role. Firstly, what attention to detail did you put in to your character, Diane?
A lot, actually. It took a few sessions to really find her voice. Um, because on the page she was reading a bit preachy and kind of aloof.
Okay.
And, that was tough because she was the governor, so she has these like official speeches, and, it was easy to make her kind of like a politician. But considering her background, we really wanted to make sure that she had that quirk within her as well. And so
Oh, yeah.
it took a while to kind of feel her out. And there was a monologue that she has where I just sort of riffed and played around. And after doing that, it was like a light went off. We were like, oh, that's Diane. And it was so cool to finally understand who she was. And then everything just sort of flowed so easily after that. And yeah, it was definitely like, it was an acting exercise. What's her backstory? How does that affect who she is today? And so that was I'd say one of my favorite parts about it was like cracking Diane.
Yeah, I was going to say, animated films are so organic these days. Did you focus differently to a live action film to how you did the role as a
Yeah,
voice?
I mean, what's nice about, I think with live action, there's just so much more going on. There's a lot more pressure, a lot more time constraints, a lot more moving pieces that have to fit together that I have to be aware of as an actor. Even if it's just acting across from other people. And so with voice projects, it's just you in a room. And so you get to really kind of let loose. You get to play, you get to physically behave however you want to or need to get the energy out that you need. And you can record a line over and over and over again. There's not really the same time constraint. So you can kind of just really take a lot more risks. And so because of that, it's really fun. It's very theatrical. It's big. It's playful in a way that I think like live action is a bit more sober, I think. But yeah, that's why I love doing them. I've been doing more and more. They're great.
Yeah, well, this might sound like a silly question, but was it an exhausting project?
No, I would not say exhausting at all. I mean, it took a couple of years. I've been doing this. I've been recording since 2020. Um, and I know Sam and Mark have been recording even
A lot
before
longer.
then. But the sessions, they're spaced out. You do, a couple of hours every session, but again, it's like you're just kind of in your comfortable clothes. All you're doing is really like keeping energy in your voice and expressing through your voice. So I wouldn't say it's exhausting at all. It's quite fun. It feels very like
Yeah.
childlike, really. Yeah.
So you didn't roll out of bed and then just roll into the sound booth.
Well, I don't have a sound booth in my house, so I had to travel. But yeah, I mean it is in and out. Like, on a set, if I on a regular set, I have to get up. I have 2+ hours in hair and makeup and costuming, and then you go and you're on set for 12 hours after that, and then you have to go and get
Right.
undressed. And I mean, that's very different than I put on some jeans, travel 20 minutes to a sound studio, record for 2 hours, and go home. So it's easier for sure.
Has there been talk, or do you think there might be a prequel or sequel, a spin-off movie with
I have
Diane?
heard little rumblings that there's a second one that they're working on, but nothing as far as I know has been greenlit or anything. So, and I don't know, but I would happily sign on to a sequel if I was offered.
So there's so many animated films around. They pile up and they're stacked when they come out in cinemas. But why should people take their children or families go and see this movie, in your opinion? The Bad Guys.
Um, yeah, I think it's a really wonderful reflection on sort of the autonomy of your story. You know,
Yeah,
people can have expectations for you, thoughts about who you are, what they think, you know, what they think of you, but really, you're the one in charge of that. You're the one in charge of the choices you make, of how you want to be in the world. People may perceive you in all kinds of ways, but really, it's up to you to captain that ship. And I think that's a really cool lesson. It's something I feel like I'm continually learning. Of people are gonna people are gonna judge you, have feelings, but really, as long as you know that you're putting out kindness into the world, it's not really, don't be concerned about the
sure.
narrative. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I think that's important.
Do you think there might be a Foxington verse? You've been part of the DC verse, been part of the Marvel verse, universe,
Oh
maybe?
my gosh, I haven't thought of that. That would be kind of cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind a standalone Diane Origins movie.
Exactly.
DreamWorks, let's talk about it. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's actually what's cool. Like, I think she's a complex and interesting character.
Yeah.
And I feel like her past, it feels very layered and textured to me. So I don't know if, like, perhaps the sequel they're working on goes into the pasts of these characters. But overall, even learning more about the bad guys, how they started, what their childhoods were like, I don't know, it'd be kind of cool. But yeah,
Yeah,
Diane
would be.
Foxington, I could see her in the Marvel universe for sure.
What animated films have inspired you? Did you watch many when you were a child? Have you got a favorite,
Yes,
maybe?
of course. I think like any child. So when was I born? I was born in 1991, so I think it's all the regular like Mulan, Pocahontas,
Sure.
Little Mermaid. I loved Shrek, which is DreamWorks family. I think kind of a lot of the normal ones, Lion King. Definitely loved animated films and still do. I think they're really, animated films are just great stories that also
Mm.
allow children to enjoy as well. That's what I think is, yeah, good story ultimately.
How do you choose projects? Do you audition, self-tape? Do people come to you now? Because, like I said, your career has been so varied and fantastic.
Yeah, it's a blend. It's a mix. I get a lot more offers than I used to, but from time to time, I mean, I just recently auditioned. I self-taped and then had a call back and auditioned for something, and I didn't get it. So,
Oh,
I'm still auditioning, but I enjoy it. I think I actually really love auditioning. I think for me, it was always something, I don't know, I felt very I like being able to present, this is my version of the character. Do you like it or do you not like it?
mm,
Because sometimes when you're offered things, you're like, well, hope you like what I'm about to do. You don't always know. And of course, it's a privilege and wonderful to be able to just get projects offered to you. But there is something, I don't know. I grew up auditioning. There's something very like, it's a part of
yeah.
the industry to me. So yeah, this one was offered to me, but I do it all.
Would there be anything that you wouldn't do physically for a role? Would you shave your hair off? Would you?
Hmm.
Is there anything that you wouldn't do, or are you up for
Yes, I
anything if
think
you
there
want
are
the
things
role?
that I wouldn't do. I would shave my head. I have to say, I wouldn't do anything that would really jeopardize my health, in a
Sure.
big way. I think also in terms of also mentally, and I completely understand, and it's actually something I think about a lot, where I'm like, how far would I go for a role? And I understand when people do certain things to get them into a mental space to play a character, because that makes a difference. Because if your
Yeah.
character is going through something, and to be able to empathize with that, I think is yeah, it makes a difference in your performance. But I think a lot about my own mental space, and I feel like I really work hard to protect it. And so
Mm.
I don't know if I would really do something to greatly jeopardize it, because physicality is also one thing, but like mental
Sure.
is, I think it needs to be, for me, it needs to be protected. So yeah, there are certain things like I don't know if, yeah, I wouldn't really do, I guess, stuff like that, whatever that format that would take.
Well, to wrap it up, thank you very much for your time. But have you ever been to Australia? Have you been down under?
Unfortunately, I haven't been. I would
Oh,
love to go though. I think I've heard just wonderful things about the landscape, the nature, and yeah, I feel like it'd be a majestic place to visit. So
I'll
it's on
take
the
you
list.
surfing.
Oh, I like to surf. Okay, that'd be fun. I'll rain check you on that.
Thanks for your time. Good luck with the
Yeah,
bad guys. And
thank you.
Seberg, what a performance. Well done.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Bye now.
Bye.